Starting to completely resent my husband. So I, 28 female, and husband, 31 male, have been married for a few years. We are expecting our first child. I am a week from hitting my third trimester. My husband and I have always had different wake-up times for work. I have to get up around 6 a.m., pre- and post-COVID, and he wakes up around 8 a.m. now, sometimes even later. I occasionally get to work from home, which is nice because it means I can relax and sometimes even nap, except I can't. Despite my husband having his own office whenever I am home, he is in whatever room I am in working. Which 90% of his day is on conference calls, that are on speakerphone, loudly. I swear I know way too much about the inner workings of my husband's job. But his conference calls basically mean I can't talk or relax by watching a YouTube video. Basically the whole living room is his office. When I got pregnant he made all these promises that he would do the housework, the cleaning. I wasn't gonna have to do a thing. I kinda knew this be crap to a certain extent. But he actually cleans, when needed, primarily the cat pan, and cooks most of the time. Except he appears to want all this gratitude for doing anything around the house. Before I got pregnant I did all the cleaning and I deep cleaned the house, I never got a parade. I cooked 50% of the time, and he never touched the cat pan. This morning he basically threw a fit about how lately he hasn't eaten break because I have been eating before him and all I want is cereal. My only pregnancy craving which came about a week ago. And that much dairy makes his sick to his stomach, he is no lactose intolerant. Then basically implied that it'd be great if I'd cook him breakfast in the mornings. As previously said, I eat early because I wake up early. I am usually busy by the time he wakes up. More importantly I am exhausted and my mind-reading abilities are shot at this point, so if he asked me to help him out I would. But frankly I am getting so big and I am so tired that I am selfishly not gonna volunteer. I am also resenting the dog and cats. The cats have always been mine so I have never expected him to feed them, they had wet food 3 times a day. But before we even got the dog 2 years ago he swore he wanted the dog so bad and promised he'd take care of it. That last the weekend we got her. For 2 years I am the once waking up at 6 a.m., primarily to take care of the dog. She needs to be let out and fed. Both take a while. Cats take 2 seconds. The dog is able to come with me to work which is nice, but I essentially take care of the dog for 10 hours solo, and when I am home and we aren't working I am the one still caring for her while he plays video games. At minimum I work 5 days a week and sometimes on the weekends too. If I don't work the weekends that is the only time he helps with the animals and again wants a parade for it. I have never gotten a thank you. I don't expect one because I love the animals, but I resent that he wants praise or gratitude for anything he does. All YouTube videos or shows are basically to his liking. If I suggest anything that isn't cartoons or shows filled with cringe humor I am hating everything that makes him happy. His YouTube videos are basically 90% political, which is basically people ranting and yelling about politics. Not exactly how I want to unwind for the day, listening to angry people. I think these things have always been a problem, but being pregnant and extremely tired is making me resentful as hell. How do I discuss these issues without causing a fight? I suspect it's gonna turn into a fight. I feel like having space in a relationship is so good it just sucks because the majority of people see this as bad. You're about to be the mother of a newborn, and you're the foster mom to a teenager. I'm sorry. I was married to one of those. You're gonna be doing a lot of heavy lifting for a couple decades. I'd recommend counseling, but my ex said every therapist we saw, more than 8 over 20 years, was biased against him, and that he was a much better husband than most men, and had a grossly unrealistic vision of marriage. But maybe you can find a therapist who can get through to your husband. Must Be This Tall to Ride is a blog that's written by a divorced dad to discourage other men from making the mistakes that led to his divorce. Click on the Start Here link and read. She divorced me because I left dishes by the sink, and she feels like your mom and doesn't want to bang you. Your husband should read every article on the Start Here page. I'm really sorry you feel like you can't ask for respect or space in your relationship without it being a fight. Do you think he would be open to couples counseling? You know he's not going to take care of the baby either, right? You can't change someone who doesn't want to change and doesn't think he has to change at all. He's taking up too much space. You're going to have to fight if you want to get the space you deserve. And that's okay. Fair is fair. It's okay not to like him being in the room while you're trying to work. That doesn't mean you hate him. It's okay not to cook him breakfast when you've already eaten because you got up early to take care of the dog. Sorry, that's the early shift. Also, you are the goddess. You're making a human life here. That sucks up energy. So can he please respect your reproductive labor? He's going to be a dad soon, it's time to wake up and man up. It is going to cause a fight because your husband is selfish. He needs to work in his office, not everywhere in the house. Controlling the entertainment when you both aren't enjoying it is a dick move. Just start leaving the room and get a television in your bedroom. Don't stay in the same space as him. He needs to handle his own meals unless you offer or are already making something for yourself. His arms work fine. He needs to step up on helping around the house. He is supposed to be your partner and you are going to keep getting bigger. Intensive marital counseling ASAP. Either you'll figure out how to work together and stay married, or you'll know exactly what you're in for when co-parenting. Boyfriend leaves cum rags on our bedroom floor. So my boyfriend and I have been together for about 2 years and live together and have sex regularly. The problem has been present for about 6 months now. Basically, we have a set of hand cloths in our bedroom for cleanup after any sexual activity. This is a habit we've had since we got together and it's probably the most eco-friendly solution. We used paper towels in the beginning, but it's just so wasteful. He wipes himself off with the cloth rags and sometimes I do too, before using the bathroom, if it's a particularly messy. In our old apartment, moved out 6 months ago, we had a laundry bin in our bedroom, so every time we had sex, he just tossed the dirty rag into the laundry bin and all done. Problem is, my boyfriend started a night job, so he gets home from work in the wee hours of the morning, and to avoid waking me up, we've kept our laundry bin in the foyer closet, not the bedroom, so he can strip and shower as soon as he gets home. We initially had it in the bedroom but moved it because he was just leaving dirty clothes on the floor of the foyer and then not bothering to put them in the laundry bin in the bedroom at all. They'd sit there for a day or more. So now we have the laundry bin in the foyer closet, and when we have sex, he just tosses the dirty rags on our bedroom floor. The first couples times he did it, I criticized him a bit and jokingly called him gross, but just picked them up and put the rags in the laundry bin. But now it's a habit and he does it all the time. Today I kind of lost it with him because the dirty hand cloths on the floor is bad enough, but we ran out of rags. Been a minute since we did the laundry, and we used paper towels instead to clean up, and he just threw the dirty paper towels on the floor. The worst thing is that I'm spotting, and he told me as much when he cleaned himself off and tossed the paper towels. I thought he'd thrown them in the garbage while I was in the bathroom after the sex, but when I was getting ready later I saw the dirty paper towels on the floor. I'm so grossed out. What can I even do to change this habit? I feel like it's really unhygienic and gross. Just look at him as serious as you've ever been and tell him how disgusting it is. No jokes, be dead ass, tough love. Did you know that you're adults and you can have as many laundry bins as you need? Get 2 bins if he's really so lazy that he can't walk 5 feet to take care of his dirty rags. Dirty rag equals no sex. Tell him firmly it's gross and he needs to change the behavior. He can get off his hinny and throw something out after sex. If he can't clean up after himself, then he's not mature enough to have sex. You're not his mother and you're not his maid. At least that's what I would do in that situation. Can't say that's the best of advice though. People making messes like that I find super disrespectful and do not stand for it. Sit down with him and have a talk about it, maybe come to an agreement, alternating turns maybe? Get a second laundry bin. Life is full of problems. This is not one of them. Just get a second, smaller laundry bin for the bedroom. Put them all on his pillow. I would get a second clothes basket and an extra bin to go by your partner's side of the bed, and ask him to use them. Someone on FreeCycle or Craigslist might have spare ones to give away, so this needn't cost money. Then, if that doesn't work, show him this thread. Why not just get another bin for the bedroom? Seems like a pretty easy solution. Is my boyfriend controlling? Should I walk away? My boyfriend has some anger issues, meaning he always gets mad, angry when certain things don't go his way. He always calls me, texts me saying it's a sign of respect to keep each other updated on what we do every day, every minute. I've come to the point where if I miss a call from his part, I start to feel anxious and call immediately back. In the past, when this happened, he got mad and started a fight. Also, I can't feel sad, or have a different mood. I suffer also from depression. Because if I answer on the phone with a different voice tone or I hang up the call without saying specific words, he starts a fight and gets angry, but never wants to understand me and what I'm feeling. He says it's not his fault I'm sad and gets angry. This approach continues also if I look sad around the house etc. He says I should consider myself very lucky to have him and does not understand why people with whom I have been in relationships before remained with a positive impression of me. And why everybody would like a girlfriend like me. Somewhere in the beginning of our relationship he also said, I am too good for him, but I refuse to take that as a red flag. He pictures me as an awful person but he sees me as the mother of his children. I don't understand. I saw also he is very jealous and at some point in our relationship, when I tried to explain to him we are somehow equal and should do home chores together. I work also full-time and so he does. He said, why would I get married if I don't have someone to do me laundry and clean? He always keeps an eye on my phone when we are in the car and asks me who I'm calling, to who I'm writing. I feel captive in a roller coaster, because if I act right, he is a very good boyfriend, or seems to me. If I confront him on any topic, he says these things are normal and it's my fault, that I make scenarios in my head. Should I end the relationship? I am afraid I might take the wrong decision. But I don't feel so taking into consideration my gut feeling. Advice from an old guy. Your boyfriend is a narcissistic asshole. Get out now or you will regret it. There is no way that any of this behavior can be justified. Research how to get a restraining order because I think you will need one. He says these things are normal and it's my fault, that I make scenarios in my head. This is gaslighting. Another checkmark against his list of abusive traits. Leave him. It will only get worse. This is an extremely toxic relationship and if it hasn't escalated to full-on physical abuse yet, I'm absolutely certain it will soon enough. He's not just controlling but he's abusive. There's so many red flags going on here. 1. Any time that your relationship is causing you anxiety because you're afraid of how your partner is going to react is mental abuse. 2. Any guy that says, "You're lucky to have me," is at the very least a narcissist who will never appreciate you because he thinks that he's settling for you, like he's doing you a favor. 3. He apparently thinks his wife's role should be a maid at his beck and call while he does nothing. Run as fast as you possibly can out of this relationship. He is an absolute narcissist. Leaving now before more damage is done to you is your only option. Leaving now before he emotionally harms your children is your only option. Your boyfriend is a monster. He is gradually eroding your sense of self. Before too long, you will no longer know your own mind. Don't just walk away, run. Calls me. Texts me saying it's a sign of respect to keep each other updated on what we do every day, every minute. No. He is wrong. If I answer the phone with a different voice tone or hang up the call without saying specific words, he starts a fight and gets angry. What? He says I should consider myself very lucky to have him. Clearly. Get out of there, Jesus Christ. Do not have children with this person. Leave. He is controlling and you should not feel anxious or fearful in a loving relationship. He is even showing signs of being a danger to you. Cut ties and don't look back. He will try to manipulate you into not leaving him. Hold firm. Don't become a victim. Ask someone to be with you if you feel unsafe after the breakup. Don't break up with him in person. You should prioritize your safety, not him. Major red flags. Location flag. He is disrespectful, not willing to see you as equals, lots of controlling behaviors, a lot of it even abusive. Please leave ASAP before things escalate even further. My girlfriend was possibly taken advantage of. Hey there everybody, having a hard time with some emotions after hearing some disturbing news. I am a 26Y0 male. My girlfriend is 24. We have a strong relationship and deep love that's been going on for almost 2 years. She was going out on a Saturday to meet up with one of her friends at a gay bar. She is usually safe and cautious and someone I don't need to worry about. I trust her. She is waiting for her friend outside the bar who is taking a really long time, so she decides to go into bar and have a drink. She quickly makes friends as it is a gay bar on Pride, gets offered a drink or two and someone purchases a Molly for her. We like to do party drugs together, so this is not some out-of-pocket coincidence. She proceeds to tell me that she blacked out and woke up the next day in a stranger's bed without her clothes. She went through the procedure of getting a rape kit and STD checks because she has no idea if anything happened. All the tests come back negative. She asked the person in the morning if anything happened and he said nothing happened because you were too messed up and that her clothes were off because she said she too hot. Whole thing is so hard to process. I honestly believe she would never willingly do that to me, but it still happened. I'm mad at her friend for not being there for her or even ask how she was getting home because she did call the friend before she left, but that person had just got into club. I'm mad at the creep who took advantage of my GF. But I'm also upset at my girlfriend for using poor judgment and putting herself in a terrible situation. She's usually the one saving girls from creeps. I do think we will get through this. She is extremely ashamed. She could have kept this a secret from me. I never would have found out any other way. I forgive her, but the emotions are strong and I feel distant. I need some insight, people. Thank you. I'm sorry for your girlfriend, but she went into a bar and she had drinks and did drugs with strangers? Are any of you lucid adults? Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. How do you know he took advantage of her? People get drunk at bars and go home together all the time. He might have been drunk too. Does that mean she took advantage of him? What I'm getting at here is alcohol is not an excuse. Quit doing drugs, you dummies. Remove alcohol and drugs from your life and see how well you do. Dump her. So, she goes out, drinks and does drugs and hangs out with a guy. She even goes back to his house alone. That right there is a no-no. Honestly, she was on drugs and alcohol, but I would probably not believe anything she says. I don't believe the guy said she was hot and took her clothes off. She just told you that. She went there, had sex with him, and then came up with a story because she felt guilty and wanted to tell you something, but wanted to make herself out to be the victim. This is just one scenario, may not be what happened. So you said the rape kit was negative. I think it is possible that she was drinking, took Molly from someone she didn't know, so maybe not the same as what she is sued to getting. The person she was with was probably also on Molly, so I am sure they were just the bestest of friends by the end of the night. Molly will do that. She went to crash at his place. Molly caused her to overheat, she got hot, took off her clothes, Molly, and passed out. She probably doesn't remember a lot and is, rightfully, worried about what may have happened and feels guilty. But it is possible it is just what it is and there wasn't an ill intent on either side. Just a little too much of a good time. Yeah, this is 100% your girlfriend's fault, man. What kind of responsible person goes into a club alone, approaches strangers and then does drugs with them, immediately upon meeting them? Like what? She's lucky she's not dead. Please NVM the username. I made it when I was 15. But your account's only 5 months old.